Hey everybody, so a little bit of a different setup today for my TBR video. I am going out of town on vacation for like 4 days, and I'm going on a plane in like 2 hours, and just don't have time to do my normal setup to get my video out for my TBR. But I figured I'll just do it really simple on my phone in my backyard. I live in the suburbs, so people are like mowing their lawn and stuff, and there might be kids running around, but we're going to make it work because I really want to get that video out on the first. So let's start this up. I have a little sheet. The first book that I'm reading this month is The Reigns of Lizcor. This is the fifth or sixth book in The Wandering Inn by Pyre Abba. And I'm going to predict a 5 out of 5 stars on this one. I just love The Wandering Inn. Spoiler, I'm already reading this one. I'm about halfway through it. But I'm telling you the score that I would have told you before I started it, and I would have guessed a 5. I think this is the sixth one. I think that's right, because I think I've given 5-star reviews, and one of them I give a 4-star review. So the odds are I'm going to love this one, and I love the last one. Now this one starts up a new era of the books. The books are coming out at a pace of like, not a pace. There's volumes in this series. It's a web serial, but they're split up into volumes. And so the volumes are way too big for a single book. So like it'll be like 2 or 3 books per volume. The book I just finished ended a volume, I believe. This is the start of a new one. I loved how the last one ended. I can't wait to start up a new one, get the storylines kind of refreshed again. And yeah, super looking forward to it. And I got to assume I'm going to love this one. Next up is The Emperor's Blades. This is part of the Chronicle of the Unhewn Throne by Brian Staveley, and I predicted a 4 stars. This was actually supposed to be read last month. I just didn't get around to finishing it. I've had a very busy month, and sports are just taking over my life with kids having softball and t-ball at the same time and having to go a million different directions. So I just haven't been able to read as much. So yeah, I went a little bit slower this past month, so this is a kickover. If you want to hear all my thoughts about it, check out the TBR video from last month. But in short, I didn't know anything about this when I got into it. I knew literally nothing. I just knew that it was a good audiobook, and that's why I was getting into it. I'd heard good things about it. Sorry, my phone's kind of falling. It's just sitting in my lap haphazardly. So yeah, 4 stars was the prediction, and I'm not changing that with what I know now, but we'll see. All right, wrong side. Next one is The Warrior Prophet. This is part of the Prince of Nothing series, which is part of the greater Second Apocalypse series by R. Scott Baker. Predicting a 5 stars. This is the second in the series. So the first one that I read was probably a top 5 book I've ever read in my entire life. It was just absolutely incredible. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm kind of upset that it's taken me this long to get to the second one. I just have so many series that I'm doing that I don't want to just power through a series and then make it that much longer until I can get to the other ones. But man, I'm looking forward to it. I am a little concerned because it's been a while. It's a very complicated series. I feel like it's going to take me a while to get back into it because there's so many names and locations and details about the world. I did cheat a little bit. I looked at the beginning, and it does, thank God, have a little like what happened in the last book section, which is awesome. But yeah, I just can't wait. I can't imagine I will give this anything less than a 5. It just seems impossible to me. Yeah, can't wait. The series so far has been incredible, and if this series continues, it's going to be maybe my all-time favorite series. We'll see. All right, the fourth book is The World Without End. This is the second book in the Kingsbridge series by Ken Follett. The series is kind of more popularly kind of known as The Pillars of the Earth. Pillars of the Earth was the first book in the series, by far the most popular. And I don't even know if a ton of people know that this is a series. So Pillars of the Earth is a historical fiction about a priest who has this, not necessarily just a priest. There's people that want to build a cathedral. And the whole book is about the construction of this cathedral. And when I heard the book build like that to me, sorry for the little chomping sounds. My daughter is eating. What are you eating, sweetie? You don't know?
It's kind of like Cheeto Puffs.
Like Cheeto Puffs? Like knockoff Cheeto Puffs from Whole Foods? Where'd we get them? Costco?
Not Costco.
No, not Target. Rayleigh's? We get them at Rayleigh's? All right. Well, they're like knockoff Cheeto Puffs. What were we talking about? We were talking about Kingsbridge. World Without End. Yeah, Pillars of the Earth, a very famous book. And it's crazy. It's the best book I've read this year. It will probably end that way. I will probably read this book many, 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 many times in my life. And yeah, just can't wait to dive into this. However, I'm going to predict a 4.5 stars because I think unanimously, I don't think there's a single person on earth that will tell you that this book is better than the first one. Now, it doesn't have to be 5 stars. The first one was that good. But nonetheless, I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit and go 4.5 stars. All right. Flipping the page. Next up is The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. This is the final book in the Age of Madness sub-trilogy, which is part of the greater First Law series. And yeah, of course I'm going to give this one a 5. Right? Yeah. Of course. Because I've given every other book in the series a 5 besides Red Country on my reread of this one. And when I read this the first time, I was blown away. And it was like one of my top 2 favorite books in this entire series. So there's no way I'm going to read this and be like, oh, yeah, I loved all the other ones, but I hated the last one that I loved before. And I'm doing an audiobook. And as we all know, as you know, Eleni, the audiobook on this one's way better than the regular one, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, and you're weird.
She agrees.
I don't.
We all agree in this house.
I don't.
And she's lying.
Hey.
And so it's just incredible. The audiobooks by Stephen Pacey are just the best. And yeah, I'm going to love this one. And everyone needs to read The First Law. I gained some bunny ears. Okay. All right. Next up is The Great Book of Amber. This is part of the Amber Chronicle. I think it's the Amber Chronicles. Like a feminine hat. By Roger Zalanzi. This was the Patreon raffle pick for this month. And I'm not really looking forward to this one for a bunch of reasons. I'm predicting 3 stars. And am I really going to do this whole thing with this hat on?
Yes.
Okay. Predicting 3 stars. It's got a lot of things about it that I'm not looking forward to. So it's a really old book. I feel like it was written in the 70s, maybe the 60s. And I think Roger Zalanzi isn't even around anymore. I think he passed away a while ago.
What?
Yeah. And yeah, it's got that going for it. Also, the person who picked this for me on the Patreon raffle kind of screwed me because it's actually 10 books in one. It's like a 1,400 page book. 1,400 page book.
That's what I gotta be.
Lenny, how many pages is your books?
100.
100? Yeah, this one's 1,400 pages.
Excuse me? You're talking cuckoo.
I am talking cuckoo. So it's like 10 little books. And I don't love shorter books. I don't love older books. So there's no way I'm going to like this, right? Maybe I will. I've heard it split up into 2 5-book arcs, basically. So maybe I'll just read the first arc and be done with it. But I am looking forward to reading 10 books and knocking out, because you can bet. If I read like a 2,000-page Wandering In book, I can give myself credit for 10 individual books with this one big book. I have it coming back to me. I get some of that. So I'm looking forward to reading 10 books in one on this. So that's nice. All right. The second to last book that I'm reading this month is The Crown Conspiracy. This is part of the Rhaenyra Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. This will be a reread for me. I did it on audiobook the first time. I'll be doing audiobook again this time. I think I gave it 4 stars the first time. I'm predicting 4 again. I have no reason to think I won't. I'm rereading it because I need audiobooks. I need more, and I liked it. And it's been a long time since I read it, so maybe I'll think differently. Maybe I'll think it's worse or better. We'll see. Audiobooks are really good. I forgot the audiobook narrator, but it's a guy. I think it's the same guy that did the. What am I thinking of? The 5 Warrior Angels trilogy. He's a really well-known guy, but he did a really good job. I think it's the only books I've read, audiobooks that he's done that I liked a lot. And yeah. I mean, Rhaenyra is this buddy duo that's just fun. Starts off the whole series. Probably not going to read the whole series. Probably just going to read Rhaenyra Revelations. I thought less and less of the series as they went along. I like these books. I really like the last one in this little series, but the next, it's split up into a bunch of little mini-series. Also, it'd be hard for you to, look up The Crown Conspiracy as a book to buy. What are you doing? Don't mess up Mommy's hat. She's gonna be mad. And so this is called like Theft of Swords, which is 2 books combined, but I'm only gonna read the one. But then we'll read the next later on. All right, the final book. Are you excited for me to have the final one, I hear? What do you think the final one's called?
Daddy is Cuckoo Pants.
You think it's called Daddy is Cuckoo Pants? It's not. It's called The Pariah. Close. This is part of the Covenant of Steel series by Anthony Ryan. Anthony Ryan, an author that I've read 2 books from. I read Blood Song, which is straight up incredible. I feel like it should have been a standalone, because if it was, it'd be one of the greatest standalone book I ever read. It's a series though, and I kept reading. And The Tower Lord, I gave like a 2 out of 5, or maybe 2.5. It wasn't good, and I stopped. But I am excited. Anthony Ryan's got a lot of skill, and I'm excited to do this. This was the Patreon vote. So on Patreon, I have a vote every month of books I want to read, and people vote, and whatever top one is gets slotted in. But there's also the buddy read. My Discord voted this to be the buddy read. We voted it between this one, the Rhaenyra book, and the and which one? The Amber book. And we did this one. So if you want to buddy read this with me, and by buddy read, I mean like let's read like 40 pages a day, talk about it daily on what the chapters were, and I'm part of it. And it'd be fun. I'd love you to be involved. So come join that. This is the shortest TBR video of all time. But that's it. That's all I got for you. So I am about to go finish packing for my vacation. Hopefully I can get this video uploaded on time so you can get it. And thank you. And as always, you want to do the thing I do? Happy reading to you. So we're going to say, happy reading to you. And we're going to do like gunshots. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy reading to you.